The issue I want to raise today, and I actually called for this debate ahead of the most recent flooding. I've been looking for a debate on this issue for a long time because I do believe the protocols do need to be re-examined, and I'm glad that that is happening. I don't believe that the necessary joined-up thinking existed between Met Éireann, the local authorities, the emergency response group, and government in general. And when the emergency does happen, they all click into place and they do a very good job by and large. But I think that given what we are experiencing in recent years, that really does need to be homed in, fine-tuned, and very clear and understandable protocols need to exist. And as members of the Oireachtas, we should be aware of those because clearly we are leaders in our communities. And when natural disasters like the most recent happen, the people who are called on to comment and the people who are called on to act as liaison and advocates for communities are members of the Oireachtas and councillors. So we do need to be on top of these issues ahead of it happening, so we have a clear understanding of what happens and what is expected of us, because in scenarios like this everyone clubs together. And I experienced that in a very direct way on the 4th of January 2014 when Lahinch in County Clare, along with much of the coast of the west of Ireland, was really hammered with massive waves. And the damage that was done to the streetscape, the promenade, to homes and to facilities along the west coast, particularly Lahinch and other parts of County Clare, was immense. And it was a time when there wasn't resources in the country, I suppose, in a way that there is today, but yet the resources were found. And I'm glad to say that the end result in terms of the facilities now available in Lahinch, in terms of the streetscape, the promenade, sporting facilities, playgrounds, rock armoury, is way ahead of what was there pre-2014. There was 12 million spent in rock armoury at the time, and there was another 8 to 10 million spent in terms of the streetscape, the promenade, just railings, lifeguard facilities, and another 7 or 8 million between the playground and the leisure centre. And it's wonderful now to see it, and particularly last weekend in a nice calm Sunday, people using it. But I suppose the point I'm going to make is that coastal protection isn't at the level it really needs to be at. We've been talking about river flooding and overtopping and so on, and they're extremely important. The protocols and the understanding of major incidents like this need to be understood, but the investment needs to happen. I absolutely support the flood relief scheme in Enniscarthy and in the other areas, because I've seen the benefit of it in Ennis. The investment that was done in the early noughties in Ennis has really worked. Well, not the early noughties, but a bit later than that. But there are many parts of our coastline that are vulnerable, and it does need hundreds of millions of euros of investment. And I do honestly believe that we need to increase substantially the investment in terms of coastal protection. And your constituency, I'm just thinking, Minister, I'm sure there are many projects in your constituency as well. But we are an island nation and we do need to protect our coastal communities. They're a very important tourism product. We don't have huge amounts of natural resources in this country, but the resources that we do have is our Céad Míle Fáilte, our tourism industry and our beautiful landscape and so on, and we do need to protect it. I'd like to thank you, Minister, for coming here this evening, and indeed Minister Brown. It has been a difficult period, and what I would suggest that maybe in a few months' time, that when the new processes and procedures are worked out, and I know some local authorities are excellent, other local authorities are not so good. Some local authorities are well funded, other local authorities could do with more funding. We need to synchronise all of that. We need to have a standard approach, and we need to ensure that resources aren't an issue. And to be fair to government, Over the last week or two, I think that resources were made available when resources were needed, caps were lifted and increased when that was necessary as well. So thank you again, Minister, and I would suggest that we would resume a further discussion on this maybe in 3 months' time.